A what? No! Are you kidding me? It didn't glory kill him. Are you kidding me? Hey guys, Sean here, and welcome to the inaugural episode of what I hope to be a new series. So the kinks might have to be worked out a little bit here, but the general premise of this series goes as such. I'm going to play about 4 hours of a game. I might play some more by the time I record the episode, like I have in this case, but I also will never play less. And the reason for that is I've always wanted to do reviews, but I don't get review copies early, and I don't finish every game. And even if I did finish every game, by the time I can finish the game, having bought it release day and that sort of thing, it might be a week after the game came out for, you know, the bigger, longer 40-hour experiences out there. And oftentimes I don't finish games. And I think that 4 hours in is about where I know if I'm going to continue or not. And so this series is going to wrap up every video by deciding, will I continue playing this game 4 hours? And that could mean that I will finish it. That could mean I'll just play it, you know, longer. If it's a 40-hour game, I might play 30 hours and never see the back 10. But I do plan to continue playing it, and that's what this series is designed to get down to the point of. So I'm not going to be giving a score. There's not going to be stars at the end of this, but what you will get is, will I be continuing past my initial 4 hours? And should you? So without further ado, let us get into Doom Eternal. For starters, I did not play Doom 2016. Or should I say, I did not play the minimum 4 hours required to make this video of this series. However, I have played a very brief amount through Xbox Game Pass. I did not buy it at the time. I had not had any interest in it at the time. I really don't know, other than I've probably played like the classic Doom through some sort of console or some sort of emulation of Doom. I've probably got it for free at some point. I think it's on more than one platform. I feel like it is. So I probably played that, but whatever, like those Dooms that were in the middle there that people don't necessarily like, the reason that Doom 2016 was such a like standout title for a lot of people, because they didn't really love what Doom had been for the last little bit there. I did not play. I have no experience with, no attachment to, and frankly, I have no attachment to the type of game that the original Doom is. I was not really alive for that. I didn't experience that. My generation of consoles, really, as far as home consoles and like video games, begins with the PS2. I have played some PS1 games. I had an original Game Boy. I've played things, but it's just not really my wheelhouse. So I'm not exactly a big lover of this franchise off the start. So just so you know, like, I'm not coming into this bias really in any way. It was just kind of, here it is. So I didn't really have many expectations heading in. The thing that hooked me, and if you want to know like what led you to buy this game, then if you didn't buy Doom 2016, outside of being stuck in the house during quarantine, the real reason I bought the game was I was looking up, you know, like, what is Doom? What is Doom 2016? What is Doom Eternal? What's different between 2016 and Eternal? And there was some, you know, like, you can swing on these little poles here, which we'll get to in a little bit when I give my like minor complaint about the game. But the thing that I immediately locked onto was the upgrading of the weapons. And as you can see right there, the gun I'm holding there was a shotgun, but it can behave as an auto shotgun with one of the upgrades. And this chainsaw is for basically getting more ammo. When you run out of ammo, which you will frequently, you have to go over here and you have to chop up a guy like that, and then ammo falls out his ass, and now you've got ammo for your guns again. But right there you can see my auto shotgun. And that was what hooked me. And the reason that I bought the game was because of upgrades like that. I really love like Ratchet and Clank and getting all those goofy kind of weapons. And so the fact that Doom had a bunch of basically, you know, standard weapons, but that we're going to have these upgrades and these tweaks you could make, and you could put points into this and points into that, and it will change the way you play, and your play style can be altered. Having many different ways to play the game is really what hooked me and is what convinced me to buy the game. The other thing would be at PAX this year, I watched some people play in the like high points, like arcade type mode or whatever, which I do wish was part of the main campaign. I wish points were flying out of everyone's head and stuff when I was doing stuff. I wish you could turn that on. I've felt this way since COD 4. I don't know if anyone remembers COD 4, but in the Mile High mission, or after you finish the Mile High, after you finish the game, there was like an arcade campaign that you could unlock where you could play through with points. I just want that in everything. I don't know. It's stupid and it's really dumb and doesn't do much, but for some reason, I kind of dig it. It works for me, and I want it in more games. But I digress. So I was really, excited to get into having multiple play styles and that sort of thing. But I really wasn't sure if the game, if the core loop was going to really hook me. Right now, we've got Doom and Animal Crossing. Both came out at the same time, and both have a very similar place where I was not so sure where the hook for myself would be. With Doom, it's okay, we're in these arenas, it's fast-paced gameplay, you're doing whatever you're doing, but is it enough? Like, is that enough? Is a shooter that in some ways is old school, on purpose, is that going to be enough for me to want to play, to completion, to get to the end of the game? And so far, the only issue I've run into, and we'll take a few looks at it right here, were with the platforming and the puzzle solving in the game. I actually really dig the arena fighting sections. The only parts of that I'm not so sure on are sometimes I'm just not sure why I'm dying. And by that I mean, I know that I'm getting hit and that's why I'm dying, and I know that I got to keep moving, and half the point is just keep moving, but I'm not always sure what Doom wants me to do to avoid death. Sometimes I just feel like these enemies are hitting me or shooting me or doing whatever it is that they do, and my choices are this dash doesn't really seem to avoid the stuff, and this doesn't really seem to, and I think just the general premise is just keep moving. But as someone who's coming into Doom and not so sure, Doom doesn't necessarily do a great job of telling you what the best way to stay alive actually is going to be for you. And that's my one hold up with the arena sections. But my hold up with the game in general is the puzzles and the platforming thing. And it's one of those things where they added in, from what I understand, from Doom 2016, this sort of dash mechanic and the swinging from these bars mechanic, or these sticks out of the wall, or whatever they happen to be at the time, I suppose. And I don't love when games they get a mechanic like that, and it's obviously mainly for combat. The dashing and that sort of thing is mainly, I think, been implemented for the sake of combat. It's like the slide in other games, Borderlands, for example, 1 and 2, they don't have a slide. Borderlands 3, you can slide, and that's sort of just adding something to your choices during combat. But games always do this, where they develop a feature like that, and then they feel the need to shoehorn it into the rest of the game when it doesn't necessarily need to be there. And I have fallen, or I have been just perplexed about where am I supposed to go? What am I trying to do right now? And it all relates to these platforming, jumping, swinging from things sections that I just kind of don't need. I don't need them. And they're not too bad. For the most part, they're not combat involved. They're in between combat. Hopefully they don't become combat involved as the game progresses, because that would really probably turn me off to the game in a way that I don't want it to. But other than that, I'm having a good time. I haven't really scratched even the surface, I don't think, of most of the upgrades. I have not touched the multiplayer section, so this is just focused on the single player campaign section. About 4.5 hours in, probably 3 and a little bit of missions worth in, I think, or so. We're 4 hours in. What do I think? And the way these videos are going to wrap up, and I'm going to mess with the format in the future, it might be a little bit more organized. Let me know what you guys think, if this should be more organized moving forward, or if you just like me kind of jibber jabbering. But the thing that I think is true is that I will continue to play for hours after this. Now, I don't necessarily believe that for every video like this that I do, that my opinion matters. Sometimes I will tell you that I'm not going to continue, but that you should. Or maybe if you like this game, you should. If you don't like that kind of game, you shouldn't. Like, I will have caveats. It's not always just going to be, you know, this game's a piece of garbage, don't play it. That's not where we're trying to go with this series. So, do I think that I will continue playing? Yes. If you like Doom 2016, you obviously should play this. If you're on the fence, I think it's a good bunch of fun right now for quarantine, as we all are in. I think some parts are tough and it gets hard. I'm not even playing on a very high difficulty, but there's like, it scales, so you could definitely get better at this, and there's definitely replay value in just cranking the difficulty up. I haven't touched the multiplayer, like I said, but overall, I think this is a pretty complete package. I think there's a lot going, you know, right here. I think there's a lot of reasons to play this. I think there's a lot to come back to. I think that this is good. There isn't really much of a story that I'm following. There is a story, and I'm not sure if it's directly tied into 2016. I'm not sure if it's tied into previous Dooms or the Doom universe or really what's going on. Honestly, it isn't relevant to me in this particular title, and I don't think it's relevant to most people. It's definitely not the core of Doom, so I'm not really paying too much attention to it, other than when it makes me. So that's not really on the table, but I do think this is a solid title. I think full price, you should probably pick it up. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a terrible idea to wait for a sale if you're on the fence, you know, when it goes down to like 40 bucks, because for 40 bucks, it's definitely worth it. But yeah, I like Doom Eternal. I'm hopefully, you know, going to see it through to the end. I think it's a roughly 15 or so hour experience, so I'm about a third of the way there right now. And yeah, that's going to do it for our video on Doom Eternal. I think I'm going to live stream some of the rest of the campaign. It's not going to be a full Let's Play, but I did record my audio during the second half of this recording session. I'm recording every second of gameplay that I play for the 4 hours for these types of videos, so that if anything comes up, I will have footage of it. But yeah, I think I'm going to live stream some more of this. I think we're going to get into it. I think I'm going to probably finish it through to the end, and I think you should consider it yourself. So thank you guys for watching. If you're new here, if you like the format of this, please subscribe. If you don't like the format, but you like the idea, please give me some suggestions on how to improve it. If you have any other thoughts, please leave them in the comment section below. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Sean. You've been awesome, and I will see you all next time.